Okay, everybody. So, welcome back. This is Ian from Mindful Marketplace. This is a really quick update relative to a current event for those of you selling landing pages using card. So, as some of you know, Twitter bought the Revue newsletter excuse me, platform last year. Review is a curated newsletter service that's been really quite popular with a lot of you, and for me as well. Really, just a fantastic way of curating content in your local community. As we know with Twitter, like all this kind of crazy cartoon, clown crash sort of cluster fucky nonsense that's been happening since Elon Musk bought the platform. Well, now it appears like the review piece of the platform is being shuttered. So, Revue is again a newsletter service that was purchased by Twitter in 2021, I believe. They've been around and I've been using them for years. Unfortunately, Twitter has decided to take down this particular service. So if you're using if you're selling that as the landing page and email newsletter service that you've integrated for your clients, I'm going to show you really quickly how to change it. So all you're going to do here is change the form there to a different service. So they still have Review here in the card back end, but there's only a month left before Review officially goes offline. So I'd certainly recommend making changes to that now. There are both free and paid options here. There are inexpensive options as well, something like MailChimp is on the higher end from a price point standpoint. If you're really doing this as an agency, something like MailerLite or one of these others, is more affordable, and I'd recommend them instead. Button Down's also very good for curated newsletters. Beehive is something that's come out in the last, I don't know, year or so as a competitor to Substack, and they're quite interesting. I haven't used them yet. Certainly, MailChimp is the one that everyone knows. I use Flowdesk in particular. Unfortunately, Flowdesk is not integrated with Card, but it doesn't really matter. You can simply, whatever you use, you simply just make the change here. So where this is a review form here, as you'll see, or this may actually have no, this has no service attached to it as because it's a template. It's not a individual landing page that we're using. Let me see if you just change it to MailChimp, you're going to have additional fields that you need to fill out. There's an API, an audience ID, et cetera, et cetera. If you go to Beehive, they have an API as well, I believe, and a publication ID. I believe that ConvertKit also has they just have a form ID and the API key. What made Review so nice was they only had the API key and you're good to go, but they're not around. So they're not going to be around come January 25th, I believe, 2023. So you want to move, obviously, your clients off of this or your own landing page off of this and pick another, newsletter provider to integrate with. I will say this as well. If you want to continue doing content curation as a newsletter service, or if you want to continue doing content curation yourself and offering curated, updates and links and resources and things like that to your audience, I'm going to record a very specific and somewhat special video for my community on what I'm doing with our review curation content, putting it into a very different free program that we use. Actually, I pay for this, but you can use it for free, and it'll allow you to curate stories, events, news, things that are happening in your local community, et cetera, or in your niche or in your market or affiliate programs, and all of that in a beautiful link that's available to your subscribers, as well as a PDF download, which is really, really appealing for those of us selling services to local businesses or our professional peers, niche neighbors, etc. All right, hopefully this has been helpful. Unfortunately, it's sort of sucky that Elon Musk has shuttered Revue. It's to the chagrin of many thousands and thousands of publishers, but I'm sure they have their reasons, and there are other alternatives. I would also let you know if you're not using Card and you're not, but you are using a newsletter and you are using Revue and you're watching this. Ghost is the absolute best alternative to Revue, and it's, I mean, a phenomenal platform that you're building your brand on your own land, so you're not taking a chance that something like this happens. All the Ghost is not going anywhere. It's a nonprofit. It's used by many tens of thousands of independent publishers. It's open source software, so even if they decided to fall into the ocean, there's still the software itself, which is open source and can be maintained by the tremendous brain collective genius of the many folks who are programmers out there in the world who would carry on the tradition of Ghost, even if Ghost themselves, all kind of just disappeared into the ether, which ain't going to happen. All right, Revue's a private company, Twitter's a private company, and this shit happens when these things are in private hands. Okie doke. Hope this has been helpful. If you have questions about this, feel free to ask. Thanks. Okay, everybody, I'm adding one little extra bit to this video. I actually just looked at some news around Revue. I just recorded the video on how to make the edits on your card profile or your card landing page to, add a different newsletter provider because Revue's not going to be around in a month. Well, it looks like what happened actually was Jack Dorsey published his first newsletter using Revue yesterday, the 13th of December 2022, and a day later, Elon Musk shuttered the whole entire thing. So or the whole entire project, which is pretty damn sad and kind of funny. But nonetheless, it shows you who is in charge of Twitter these days. So, Jack Dorsey, the former owner or the former CEO of Twitter, used the Revue, the great newsletter publishing platform that Twitter bought under his watch, and to publish his first newsletter, which was sort of a attack on the current direction of Twitter and a veiled sort of attack, I guess, on Elon Musk. And within 24 hours, of course, this whole project has been taken down. So Revue is no longer. Anyway, I thought I'd add that. It's kind of comical. It's kind of just another stone in this shit show that is always evolving with Twitter these days. But nonetheless, I figured it was worth including. Thanks so much, and I'll talk to everyone soon.